We bring in now a guy who I believe still lives in California, but probably wishes he did not. He is Adam Carolla. He's going to be with me on Thursday of next week in Nashville at Zany's. Adam, what are you hearing? We had Rob Schneider on with us, I think, last week, and it feels like even in the Hollywood universe, there's maybe a few people who are starting to say, yeah, this Kamala Harris campaign's kind of a joke. Are you feeling that at all?
Yeah, because she is so demonstrably bad. You see, Biden was so milquetoast, middle of the road, at least the version of him before he was elected, that really the way Hollywood works is they hate Trump and they will just take a plastic owl that you put on a roof to keep seagulls away from defecating on your roof. They would take that over Trump. But the thing about Kamala Harris is she's actually bad. Everyone else is just sort of inert. You know, they said, well, we'll just vote for Joe Biden because he's inert and Trump is bad. But now Kamala Harris is starting to look pretty bad.
Adam, the celebrity endorsements that we would normally expect at this point, it feels like they're a little anemic, a little on the weaker side. They've had Taylor Swift. I mean, there's some of the usual suspects, but I haven't seen do you remember in the Hillary? Of course, you remember the Hillary era, but remember when Hillary was running and they had the song that they did with everybody you had ever seen on a sitcom all of a sudden was singing out of tune about how great Hillary was or whatever. Is it because they realize that stuff is cringy and annoying, or is it because, to what you were just saying, nobody really wants to attach themselves too much to what seems to be a sinking ship?
It's hard to be a vocal supporter of Kamala Harris with a straight face if you have a couple of brain cells to rub together. So I think there's that. I think them getting dragged online for all the cringy stuff in the past has probably slowed their roll. And also, the endorsement has really not really panned out. It was something that was very important for some reason, a decade ago and maybe even 5 years ago, but it's just kind of lost all of its luster. And celebrities in general, I think about how you used to think about Robert De Niro 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Just think of what you thought of him. You're like, that guy's a genius. That guy's such a craftsman. Oh, my God. And he was smart. He never spoke about anything. So we just all went to bed at night thinking him and Bruce Springsteen were geniuses. But I said 25 years ago, who says these guys are geniuses just because they're good at something? Like saying Darryl Strawberry must be a genius. He's great at swinging a bat. You know what I mean? But they were smart. They never said anything. So we just quietly thought they were geniuses. And then they started opening their mouths, and now we know they're idiots.
Adam, well, first of all, that's really well said, I think. You are a big sports fan like I am. I have been impressed, and I take it as a good sign, that, yes, while the Steve Kerrs and the Steph Currys of the world have come out and said, oh, you've got to vote for Kamala, for the most part, athletes, by and large, at least so far as we sit a month out, have just said, you know what, I'm just going to play football this year. I'm not really going to weigh in. Patrick Mahomes went mega viral for saying, hey, vote whoever you want to. I don't think it's my job. I'm kind of going Michael Jordan style. I take it as a good sign for Trump that there isn't some sort of major athlete uprising of people saying, oh, you've got to vote for Kamala, because if they're not pro-Kamala, I think a lot of them are quietly pro-Trump. Do you feel that too, just based on how the athletic calendar kind of is going so far?
Well, I mean, if you think about everything they stand for, first off, she gets elected, they're going to have to start paying their fair share. All those kids that grew up in the inner city with no education are going to have to start paying their fair share. Number one. Number two, she's kind of the opposite of their world. Their world is 100% merit-based.
Yep.
There is nothing. There's no DEI hires where they're from. Number three, I mean, when they see footage of Trump walking into those college stadiums, they know who their fans are. Their fans are not down with the nonsense. You know what I mean? By and large, it's just not, it's not good for business. And I also don't think they think that way.
Adam, I'm confident that that Trump is going to win. I know everyone if I say he's going to lose, people yell at me like, "How could you?" But I really believe that he's going to win, and now people yell at me and say that that's overconfidence. But I just think that with Kamala Harris, it's impossible for me to wake up after Election Day and be like, "Oh yeah, Kamala Harris is going to be president now." But just what would it mean to you if Kamala did win this thing? What does it actually say about what's going on in America today?
Well, it shows that we've made the transition from a sort of logic-based society into a feelings-based society, which we've been making this transition for a while now. That's why you turn on the TV commercials when we were kids. You turn on a TV commercial for a truck or a station wagon, everything they talked about was powertrain warranty, rust-proofing warranty, mileage, and sticker price. Now you turn on the TV, you see a Subaru commercial. It's made with love.
And it was probably a mixed race couple or a lesbian couple that's driving the Subaru too, right? You don't ever see a white guy married to a white woman now in any ad in America. It's very funny if you watch. Once you see it, you can't not see it.
Right. So they don't say anything about mileage or sticker price or warranty or rust proofing. Nothing. It's made with love. And they sell more cars now than they did 10 years ago. That's for sure. So we're transitioning. Look at Madison Avenue. Look at all the commercials. Look at all the good vibes. Look at all the puppies and happy people. There's not a lot of nut and bolt talk anymore. It's good vibes. And if she gets elected, it will herald in this new, and by the way, scary new vibes order we're moving toward. Has nothing to do with anything that would work. It's basically a sanctuary city. Nobody's illegal. Everyone needs to be treated with dignity. My work is done here.
Comedy died when Trump was elected the first time. To a large extent, like late night, everybody was just propaganda. That certainly led through the early days of the Biden administration. If Trump wins, do you think comedy will come back? Do you see like kind of some shoots of grass kind of sprouting up where people just want to go back to being able to laugh again instead of worrying about who gets offended? You're there on the front lines. What's going on in the comedic universe, and what signals does it potentially give us for where America's headed?
Trump and COVID, a lot of people felt, silenced and canceled and repressed and whatever. And then it gave way to a whole uprising of like edgier, angrier, less politically correct comedians, right? So that's the new wave. The guys that are killing it are the guys that weren't acceptable throughout COVID, the Trump administration. So like going from Leonard Skinner to disco and from disco to punk. You know what I mean? We get enough of this and we want that. And we've had enough of enough of the oppression and enough of the you can't say that. And now we're going punk.
I also think that the censorship industrial complex has gotten to a point, Adam, where when you have actual documentation of the government working with social media companies, telling them to, like a mob boss, like you're going to go do this to shut people down. And then you have even recently, I think just in the last week or so, what was it, Bill Gates saying that we're going to have AI that kind of deals with disinformation. And I mean, the bad guys are always the guys who say you're not allowed to say anything but what I tell you to. And the Democrats are that now. I mean, they have wholly owned the issue of we get to say what is the naughty speech and what is the okay speech, which obviously affects creative endeavors, but it also just affects whether we're in a free society.
Yeah. And it's such a 180 from how I grew up and what their ethos were. It was always, free to. It's always about expression and freedom, and I think they don't think they can control things without it because their outcomes are so bad, their results are so bad that without creating this stuff, I don't know what they would have. They can't run on their record and they can't run on the nuts and the bolts. So they have to work on narrative. So this is all scary to them, and they've lost their grip on it thanks to guys like Elon and guys like you and just people talking. So I think it's a good sign. Sad that we had to go through it, but I think we're going to get it back.
Adam, for people who want to come watch your show in Nashville on Thursday, I'm going to be there for part of it. What should you tell people and what should they expect? So we're going to be at Zany's in Nashville, which is close to downtown, but tell them about what the show is going to be like.
Comedian Adam Ray is going to join me for the first part of the show. Clay, you're going to come up for the second part of the show and join me. It's a free-form conversation. We'll do some bits and some games. It's a live podcast. It'll record. It'll air the following day. You can hear them all now for free at adamcarolla.com. And we were sort of the pioneers of the live podcast. Everyone's doing them now, but we've been doing them for 15 years. So it's always good. It's always fun. It's always raucous. And, no holds barred. Say whatever you want.
That sounds like fun. Again, next Thursday, Adam Carolla's show, and I'll be there as one of the guests. It should be a lot of fun. Adam, we appreciate the time. Have a good weekend. Good luck on the bets this weekend on football. You have any strong takes for the weekend of gambling?
I've been in Wyoming for the last 3 days, completely off the grid, no TV, no internet, no anything. So I have no idea who's playing who. I just hope the Rams win for a change.
For a day, he's like me, Clay. Has no idea who's playing who and doesn't know what the teams are doing. Look at that.
No doubt. We appreciate you.
On Thursday night last night. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Want to tell you, speaking of games, Buck. Oh, man.
Oh, Clay.
We were
You're killing me, Clay.
Incredibly close to back-to-back 10-1 wins. I gave you out. I said, look, I love Kirk Cousins more than 232.5 passing yards. Buck, he went for over 500 yards last night, including an overtime touchdown win. Mike Evans, more. Drake London, more. 3 out of the 4. We were winning easily. Baker Mayfield couldn't get it done for us. So only 3 out of the 4 actually cashed for Prize Picks. But rolling into the weekend, you can go ahead and get signed up as well. PrizePicks.com. My name Clay. You get $50 when you play $5. All you have to do, again, PrizePicks.com. My name Clay. You can go with us or against us every Thursday night with football picks. It's a lot of fun. You can play in Florida, Georgia, Texas, California. If you're feeling a little bit left out, you can certainly play in my home state of Tennessee as well. Over 30 states now, Prize Picks is up and running. So much fun. All you have to do is pick more or less, and you will be rolling. You'll have a lot of fun. Why not go ahead and get signed up right now? And you can be in line for next Thursday night's picks. Buck, it was so close. I was getting cocky. I almost texted or tweeted at halftime, hey, we got this. It was in the bag. 3 out of 4, no doubt at all. 1, Baker Mayfield didn't come through for us, but we're going to have some more fun next Thursday. PrizePicks.com. My name Clay. That is PrizePicks.com. My name CLAY. $50 when you play $5. Get signed up right now.